Ladies and gentlemen, it gives us immense pleasure to introduce you to our third limited edition, created in partnership with one of our very favorite brands, Bvlgari. This is the Octo Finissimo Ceramic Chronograph GMT Nuclear Option. Before we get into the watch, a quick backstory. It was just last year that we launched our limited edition Octo Finissimo Chronograph GMT in sandblasted titanium with a fully luminous dial designed by the one and only Fabrizio Buonamassa. The idea there was to create the ultimate tool version of the record-setting automatic chronograph with the peripheral rotor. Together with Bvlgari, we listed that any tool watch needs to have luminous indexes and hands. But in the Octo Finissimo, this proved almost impossible, because with a dial that is only 0.3 millimeters thick, the indexes and hands were just too thin to be coated with lume. It was Mr. Buonamassa then who came up with this superb idea to coat the entire dial with lume so that all the indications would stand out in negative relief. How could we not say yes to this? Mr. Buonamassa went through quite a few dials in trying to make this happen. Some were too luminous so that even in normal light they were glowing, and some were not luminous enough. With the white light, it was important to get this balance just right, so that the watch would look like a normal white dial chronograph in daylight, but as soon as you moved into darkness, it would glow just the perfect way. This was important for us because we wanted to keep the full lume element a surprise for when the watch would go from light into dark. Of the prototypes Mr. Buonamassa had worked on, there was a version made that had a dial that was so luminous it basically glowed bright green all the time. It glowed so intensely that Waco once suggested we were looking at an LED screen rather than a watch dial. So we had the white light and this alternate dial that we called the nuclear option. Ultimately, we passed on the nuclear option for the white light project, but couldn't stop thinking about it. It was just too cool. So we asked Mr. Buonamassa if it might be something he would work with us on for 2021, and what kind of watch the nuclear option dial should go into. Again, it was Mr. Buonamassa who suggested that it should be something stealth and in a material that would offer maximum contrast. A material like black, sandblasted ceramic, needless to say. And again, how could we not say yes? So here it is. The Bvlgari Octo Finissimo Ceramic Chronograph GMT Nuclear Option. Taking things back a little, the Octo Finissimo Chronograph GMT was originally launched in 2019 in Bvlgari's signature sandblasted titanium. At 42 millimeters, Bvlgari had managed to integrate the pusher on the left for the GMT function and as well the two pushers on the right for the chronograph function in a way that made for a seamless addition to the Octo Finissimo case. The counters on the dial include running seconds at 9 o'clock, 24-hour home time at 3, and the 30-minute chronograph counter at 6. So far, we've seen the watch, of course, in the sandblasted titanium case and bracelet, 42 millimeters in diameter and 6.9 millimeter in thickness. This we also saw on a black rubber bracelet with a black dial. Then earlier this year we saw a steel version, case and bracelet, 43 millimeters and 8.75 millimeters in thickness. So you can see that while every version uses the 3.3 millimeter thick Bvl318 movement with the peripheral rotor, tolerances in the various materials used for the case does add to its dimensions. In the case of the nuclear option in black ceramic, the measurements are 43 millimeters for the diameter and 7 millimeters for thickness. Mr. Buonamassa shared with us that it is quite the challenge to finish ceramic in the same way that Bvlgari finishes steel and titanium, for instance. Even more of a challenge is the bracelet in full ceramic, including the clasp, because remember, every link on the bracelet is of a different size. Maybe the last point of discussion we pursued with Mr. Buonamassa was if we should include the tachymeter we had on white light for the nuclear option. But this proved too much of a challenge with given tolerances and a concern for long-term durability. So it was decided we would skip the tachymeter and keep the watch as stealthy as possible. So there you have it, the Bvlgari Octo Finissimo Ceramic Chronograph GMT Nuclear Option. In black ceramic, 43 millimeters in diameter and 7 millimeters in thickness, powered by the record-breaking automatic Bvl318 movement with peripheral winding. fitted on a black ceramic bracelet with a ceramic 3-blade folding buckle. The watch will be limited to 30 pieces, priced at $19,550 US. Available now on the Revolution shop.